fireproofing and the cladding issues. So they're just being asked, is there any progress there, or do you have anything to report in that space at all?
Yeah, look, off the cuff, in terms of Cladding Safety Victoria, so an organisation that was set up by the government to deal with the combustible cladding installed on buildings. So my understanding was that they had $600 million of funding originally. They were actually associated with the VBA, which is the Victorian Building Authority. Recently, my understanding is that those two organisations have separated. So this CSV, Cladding Safety Victoria, now has to stand on their own 2 feet, so to speak. And I heard a comment the other day that a lot of the funding is going towards the administration of making sure that organisation can work. So going back to, I guess, the owners' corporations that are affected, yes, there have been a number that have received funding from CSV to rectify the non-compliant aluminium composite panels, or the polystyrene, expanded polystyrene, the EPS. So although I haven't really heard much recently in regards to how much money there is still available to owners' corporations, my understanding is that that money is going to dry up pretty quickly, and there'll be a lot of owners' corporations that will be left to their own devices to rectify the cladding. I guess one of the biggest issues that we've found, and we do manage a number of properties affected, and so what we've identified is that the cladding is removed, or there's destructive testing to identify that the cladding is non-compliant, but also during that testing, they've identified that what's behind the cladding is also defective in terms of the building. So CSV will only fund the replacement of the cladding, not the rectification of the other non-compliant building, whether it's the construction of the facade. So the owners' corporation will need to put their hand in their own pocket to fund those works. I was actually speaking with a company last week at a SCA conference, and that chap is in the business of lending monies to owners' corporations, and their business is pretty busy at the moment because a lot of owners' corporations are putting their hand out to fix these other issues aside from just the rectification of the cladding. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for the summary on what's happening. That's a great summary. Good to know.
I guess just further to that point, the process really, if you are experiencing a situation where you believe you've got cladding, engage an expert, and that expert should be either a fire engineer or a building surveyor. Get a report from them to understand whether there is any combustible cladding, non-compliant cladding installed, and then if the builder is still around, there's recourse back to the builder if the building is within 10 years. However, with that being said, I understand the government has extended the statutory warranty to 12 years. So 12 years from the date of occupancy of the building, the owners' corporation has recourse back to the builder if they're still around. If the builder has died, disappeared, or become insolvent, then there's no recourse. And if the owners' corporation has builder's warranty insurance, then they may be able to make a claim on that. Otherwise, they'll go to the CSV, Cladding Safety Victoria, to try and get funding to remedy the defect.